You know, one of the most common questions I get from my viewers is, what tide do I prefer to fish? Most people expect the answer to be incoming or outgoing, but the real answer is that it changes throughout the year. In this video, I'm going to tell you the #1 most important factor to consider when choosing your tide so that you can catch more fish every single trip. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is Ryan with South Jersey Yak Fishing, and in today's trip we are going to be breaking out the mini dock rod. Yeah, it's a kid-sized fishing rod that we're going to be putting to the test on some surprisingly big fish. You're going to see 3 different species today, as well as some weird fish behavior and even a problem that's caused by the bay water itself. I'm going to explain this as well as share some tips and secrets with you, but for right now, let's get started. Okay, so the main target in today's trip is going to be sheepshead, and my favorite bait to use is fiddler crabs. I prefer to catch my own as it can get quite expensive if you always buy the bait, and I took care of that on my way over to the fishing grounds. Now, this was a planned multi-species trip, and I started out drifting for flounder. However, this was not my best flounder fishing day, and this is a perfect example as to why. Yeah, there's always stories about the one that got away. I'm not telling anybody about this. All right, so here we are at the bridge, and I've dropped down a fiddler crab on a bottom sweeper jig, and I am fishing the outgoing tide in mid-July. And for whatever reason, this past July this year was the hottest month of the summer. This created a huge disparity between incoming and outgoing tide water temperatures. This is going to be the main focus of today's video, and ultimately the reason that a lot of strange things are going to happen. But also, somewhere in there lies the secret to catching more fish. Okay, so this next clip is going to be the first of the larger fish and my target species, but as I'm fighting this fish, you will hear me notice something that is a little off. Now, for the most part, I can tell how big a sheepshead is on the Hookset because the bigger ones don't really budge, and generally speaking, will start taking some line after the first couple of crankdowns on the reel. It's fighting weird. And this one felt big on the Hookset, but he's taking no drag, so now I'm loosening my drag and making sure the washers aren't all locked up or something, but everything seems to be functioning just fine, so I'm just a little confused right now. I can't tell if he's big or not. Ooh, that's a decent sized sheep. It's a nice sized sheepshead right there. And he is not foul hooked. Surprised he's not taking line the size he is. Oh, wow. He's heavy. Woo! Now that is one of the nicer ones I caught this year. $21.5. Very nice size sheepshead. So something that's very important for every angler to know, hot water has less oxygen. This is important because oxygen levels in water will affect the fish's feeding patterns. In a few minutes, I will explain to you how this is the key to choosing the correct tide. All right, so it's been a rough morning. It has not been on fire. I mean, I've missed a couple of fish, but it's been real slow. Caught a couple of tog, and I'm hoping it's turning on now, man. I'm going to drop down now and see if there's another one there, but I don't know. What to see. All right, so that last fish didn't fight very hard. He didn't even take any drag, and because he wasn't foul hooked at this point, I don't even know what the heck is going on. But I do know it's strange, and in a few minutes, something even stranger is going to happen. These sheep are not fighting the same way they usually do. I don't know what's wrong with them. Like, not fighting very hard. Very weird. Oh, and just so you know, for purposes of editing this video, I am showing some of these clips out of order. It's 16 and a half. A little smaller than what I like to cook, in my opinion. All right, we're gonna let this one go too. Ah, mouthful of salt water. All right, so we're gonna fast forward to the very end of the trip, and this was very close to low tide and the hottest water of the day. This clip was the main clip that inspired this video, and some of you may have seen part of this before, but as you can see, we have the mini dock rod out. We're gonna catch a sheepshead on it, and this catch was a lot of fun. That is until the release. Here. Pretty heavy. He's like 19 and a half. So fish breathe by filtering oxygen out of the water, right? During a fight, if you have hot water, that means the oxygen levels are low and the fish gets way more oxygen deprived than on a normal day. So that just might explain what you were about to see here. All right, so this one's 19 and a half. He's like the perfect eating size as far as I'm concerned. So I don't feel like filleting fish tonight. So I'm gonna let him go. Bye-bye. He took off. No, he's still sitting there. It's strange. He's not reviving. He took off, but he didn't take off. Sheepshead release. Take 2. Come on, buddy. Come on. There he goes. Well, that was a strong swim off. So what just happened there was a direct result of low oxygen levels due to hot water on the outgoing tide. My fish finder right now is reading up in the mid 80s, and sheepshead's comfortable feeding temperatures are somewhere around 63 to 73 degrees. They will start to become less active as the temperature rises above that range. Does this mean that they're not there? No. Does it mean that you can't catch them? No, I'm catching them right now. What it does mean is that any sizable fish are most likely going to be lethargic, and because they are so uncomfortable under this sort of environmental stress, they generally speaking will not aggressively feed. If they do, it's more of a slow graze, and the bites are super light and almost undetectable. So what's the point? Well, the point is that I'm catching sheepshead right now, but it's probably the worst time to be targeting them. one's 19 3/4. Another nice fish. All right, so we've discussed a lot of really important information so far, but in a few minutes, I'm going to bring it all together and tell you how I use these concepts to choose my tide. But for right now, I want you to check out this next fish. When I get him on the deck, he's going to have an unusually nice set of choppers. Oh, he's got nice teeth. He must have dental insurance. Yeah, look how nice his teeth are. They're like perfect. Yeah, 19.5. Nice. All right. This is a beautiful sheepshead. As I said, he must have dental insurance because he's got like perfect teeth. He's kind of cute. We're gonna let him go on the very last crab. Come on, buddy. Just thinking about it. All right, so now I'm going to share with you exactly how I choose my tides as the final catch is playing in the background. What I've come to find out is that everything is driven by water temperatures. Sure, there's other things that factor in, like wind, dirty water versus clean water, sunlight versus no sunlight, yada, yada, yada. But the biggest, most significant contributing factor is the water temperatures. Fish are not much different than you and I in this respect. When the weather gets cold outside, we put on sweatshirts and jackets. And when it's hot, we put on t-shirts and shorts. Ooh, it's another big one. Just soaked me. Likewise, when the water is cold, the fish look for warmer water, and when it's hot, they look for cooler water. So, for this very reason, I choose to fish the tide that brings in that comfortable temperature range. If the changing tides never bring that comfortable temperature in, then I'm fishing the portion of the tide that comes closest to it because they have to feed at some point, and most likely it's going to be at that time. That is when they are most aggressive and therefore easiest to catch. Nice. This one's smaller than the last one. This one's just over 20. Barely. All right, let's summarize everything as this video's coming to a close. Of all the things that people consider when choosing a tide to fish, the water temperatures is the most important. It is the #1 biggest contributing factor when it comes to a fish's behavior and feeding patterns. Therefore, you should study your targeted species, know their habits and their comfortable feeding ranges, and choose your tides according to the water temperatures that they are producing. If you do this, whether it's by boat, kayak, or land, I guarantee you will be able to catch more fish. All right, that's all for now. I hope you found this video both enjoyable and informative. If you did, hit that like button, smash that notification bell, and please consider supporting me by subscribing to my channel, that's South Jersey Yak Fishing. Thanks once again for watching, guys. Peace.